Hello and welcome to Restore 2023. Today we are in the book of Ezra, chapters 7 and 8. More than 50 years have passed between the last verse of chapter 6 and the beginning of chapter 7. The temple was completed in 516 BC, the 7th year of King Darius I of Persia. He continued to reign for another 30 years before passing his rule to Xerxes I, who served as king from 486 to 465 BC. Then Artaxerxes I, who followed Xerxes, began his rule in 465. So all the actions here take place in the 7th year of King Artaxerxes, 458 BC. And actually it's taken us 6 chapters to be introduced to the man Ezra and his work of restoration. Ezra's remit and his ministry is a different type of restoration, not of bricks and mortar, but restorations of hearts. He labored so that God's people might once again know, understand and obey the Torah, the law that has been revealed through Moses. And again, specifically, Ezra himself committed himself to 3 things. He prepared his heart to seek the law of the Lord, and this word to seek means that he was intentionally studying it to find God's truth and to take that to heart. Secondly, he committed himself to obey it, to follow the preparation of careful study and to follow that through. And thirdly, he planned it to pass it on, to impart it, to teach it, to model it in his community. And what is implied here was that Ezra planned to teach the whole law and not just parts of it. Now, when we come to this chapter and we see Ezra's commission, it's almost too good to be true. Because why would a Persian king care about the state of religious obedience in Judah? The answer may lie in the fact that Artaxerxes' behavior fits the strategy of his predecessor, Cyrus. The strategy was to support indigenous religions. Through such non-partisan support, Cyrus had hoped to earn the favor of all the gods within his empire. This would have seemed to be Artaxerxes' hope as well in verse 23. But the closing verse of chapter 7 is written in a first person, and it ends with that note of praise and acknowledgement that Ezra did not take credit for the king's action. He did not assign them to the king himself, but rather Ezra stated that he was blessed by God alone. And then we move to chapter 8, and although we've got this list of names, we notice some exemplary integrity in Ezra's leadership. He recruited the Levites to carry the sacred articles, even though they slowed down the trip to Jerusalem. He could have made life easier by not recruiting them, but instead he took time to do things right. He also demanded integrity from his subordinates, the priests and the Levites, who transported the holy materials. At first they had to be fasting and be holy and set apart themselves, but also they were not to profit personally by borrowing some of the God's gold and silver. Ezra was quite realistic about the potential of greed and potential temptations. Join us tomorrow for Ezra chapters 9 and 10.